Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show to talk about the national championship game here. The Ohio State Buckeyes beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 34 to 23 here in the national championship game. I feel bad for the Notre Dame fans out there, man. Kind of got fooled that first possession. You know, they go like 9 minutes and 45 seconds and a touchdown. Then after that, they really struggled the rest of the half. I mean, they couldn't do anything else. But, and OSU just didn't play well. Or, after that, their defense locked in. I'm going to say Notre Dame didn't play well. They didn't play well offensively. Ohio State locked in defensively. The first few possessions, they scored touchdown. But Notre Dame just didn't have an answer defensively. Even if fully healthy, I just don't know if they have an answer, because they couldn't really get much of a pass rush on Will Howard. And also, I mean, Ohio State ran the football pretty well. Agboka made some plays. Jeremiah Smith made a huge play there at the end of the game. Ohio State did let Notre Dame back in that fourth quarter. I mean, let them back in it. You know, it gets an 8-point game. It was 31-7. You look up, and all of a sudden, it's 31-23. And you're like, 3-11. Hold up. We have a game here. But then, I don't know if I'd blitz there on 3rd and 11. I know you want to get the quarterback. I know you want to force pressure. But I would at least have a safety back there, because you can't leave Jeremiah Smith one-on-one, dude. That dude's a monster, generational. I just don't see how you can leave him open there on 3rd and 11. I'm not saying that Notre Dame goes down, gets a touchdown, a 2-pointer, but they would have at least had a chance. Riley Leonard did the best he could tonight, I thought. He did the best he could. But that big deficit was just too hard to come back from. I mean, they made it. They made it close, but it's just too little too late. Their defense needed to show up the whole game, and it did in the fourth quarter. I mean, it took several tries for Ryan Day to, win the big one, win the championship, win all these big playoff games. I'm not comparing him to anybody, to any other coach. Just he finally done it. And yeah, expanded playoffs, yeah, whatever. But man, he finally got a national championship. It's kind of crazy, man. Jeremiah Smith is a freshman. He still has to play 2 more years. And pretty much clinched the national championship there with that big catch down the field. Just generational. Like, he's so good for a freshman. I don't know if I'd blitz 7 guys on 3rd and long. Yes, they're not going to run the ball, but I'm not blitzing there. I just don't know why Christian Gray is one-on-one with him, but he's gonna be such a generational player. Congratulations, Ohio State winning the national championship. I thought they were the best team on paper. You look at on paper with all the talent they have, with their running backs, Judkins, Henderson, the receivers they have, with Jeremiah Smith, Agboka, Tate, and the defensive talent they have, Jack Sawyer, Caleb Downs, other players. Like, they were the best team on talent. Best talented team you look at on paper. And then they lose that Michigan game. I was kind of like, I still thought they were good. I didn't think they would play that bad, and they never played that bad since then. It's like that loss to Michigan lit a fire under them, and they used that fire to go here and win this national championship. I don't care. Paid for the other. Yeah, schools have been paying players for years. And it's probably SEC fans. SEC fans talking about other teams paying players, and for the people trying to say, they paid $20 million. Well, look how much Oregon and Texas paid. They paid more. And guess who beat them? Ohio State. It's funny how that works. But Will Howard had a solid game, I thought. 17 of 21, 231, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He missed like 2 throws, but other than that, I thought he was good. 16 runs for 57 yards. Made a lot of plays with his legs tonight, which he normally doesn't do, but he made some plays with his legs. So 288 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Threw that deep ball, a perfect pass. Jeremiah Smith wide open. Not a perfect pass, but a good enough pass to Jeremiah. They earned that. They were the best. They beat the teams that were the best all year. I mean, I guess, were the top few teams, like Texas, Oregon, Notre Dame, and they beat them. I mean, Will Howard and company balled out in the first half. Notre Dame fought in the second half to at least make this respectable. Will Howard had a great game. Quinshaw Judkins, 11 carries, 100 yards, 9.1 a carry, 2 touchdowns. Also, 2 catches, 21 yards and a touchdown. 121 total touches with 3 touchdowns, man. What a game from Quinshaw Judkins. I think his best performance of the season. 2 catches, 20 yards and a touchdown. Travion Henderson, 12 runs, 49 yards. Receiving, Jeremiah Smith, 5 catches, 88 yards and a touchdown. Igboka, 6 catches, 64 yards. Carnell Tate, 2 catches, 35 yards. I thought their defense played pretty well until the second half. They were giving up a bunch of yards, especially in that fourth quarter. And Ohio State 14-2 and national champions, man. I mean, Michigan fans will brag about they beat Ohio State. Ooh, excuse me. They lost to Michigan. Oh, wow. Well, who cares if you lost to Michigan? As for Notre Dame in the season here, 14-2, also want to say congratulations to Barney, finally seeing his Ohio State Buckeyes. Went on after all the disappointments, they finally get it done. Finally win all those big playoff games, to get the national title, and they win the big one. It's just crazy how they kept it together after losing to Michigan, and they they destroyed Tennessee. Who else did they beat? Tennessee, Texas, Oregon. Like, they had a tough road to get here. I mean, Oregon was undefeated. Texas, they have a really good defense. I mean, the last 2 games were tough to even get here, and they really dominated the second quarter and third quarter to get that big lead, and Buka turned it over, and they didn't play as well offensively to let Notre Dame back in it, but they got a big play when they needed it most on 3rd and 11. As for Notre Dame, Riley Leonard, I thought he gave it his all, man. 22 of 31, 255, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 17 runs, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. He gave it his all out there for them. Kind of heartbreaking for him, man. He gave it his all. Him and Riley, Jaden Greathouse really carried him in the second half. It was a hell of a season, man, from Riley Leonard. If you're the background's a celebration. But yeah, they just didn't run the ball much with Jeremiah Love. 4 runs, 3 yards. They just didn't use Jeremiah Love tonight, which was questionable, because I don't know why he didn't really play that much. I mean, maybe he's more hurt than we thought. But if he isn't, then no excuse why they didn't use him much. Jeremy Price, 3 runs, 13 yards receiving. Jaden Greathouse, 6 catches, 128, 2 touchdowns. Mitchell Evans, 4 catches, 52 yards. Bo Collins, 4 catches, 32 yards. Ray Riddle, 2 catches, 20 yards, and Chris Mitchell, 2 catches, 16 yards. Their defense was awful in the first half, I thought. They battled in the second half, but they just didn't play well in the first half. Ohio State scored a touchdown every possession in the first half. They scored 21 points in that second quarter, which is kind of a killer where Notre Dame gave up those 21 points. And just kind of some bad calls there. Kicking that field goal and they missed it when they should have just went for it. 3rd and 11, they blitz and they leave Christian Gray one-on-one. Some bad calls in that fourth quarter by the Irish. I'm not saying they would have won, but you would have had a better chance of stopping them if you don't blitz. So they had some questionable calls, but Notre Dame fought. At least they didn't get embarrassed that bad. It was on pace to be. It was 31-7, but they battled back to make this a one-possession game. But they just couldn't get that third down stop. They gave up a lot of third downs in this game. A lot of third downs they gave up. So we'll see. I mean, the last 2 years, Big Ten teams have won the national championship. It was Michigan, and now it's Ohio State. So we'll see if they win it all next year. Maybe it'll be Penn State. Maybe old James Franklin will win it all. I mean, Ryan Day, I wouldn't say overcome the odds. I don't care if you had $20 million roster. They beat teams who spent more. Just crazy how disciplined they stayed. Despite even after losing to Michigan, when they could have, they could just quit and not got far in the playoffs, but they didn't. Stayed together as a team, and they were just a better team than Notre Dame here. It's kind of what I feared. Notre Dame's offense just wasn't able to do much outside that first drive, and then when Ohio State was kind of letting them back in it, not doing anything on offense, and they were finally able to get back going offensively, especially in the fourth quarter, but it was just too little too late. They just gave up too many third downs. Kind of when it comes down to it, Ohio State lost a fumble, which let them back in it. They were 9 for 12 on third down, especially including that massive third down. Low taper fade. But that big 3rd and 11, they just couldn't stop them on third down. Ohio State's offense is pretty good outside that second half. 214 total rushing yards, 7 yards per play. Notre Dame gave it their all. I mean, they didn't quit. They could have got embarrassed and blown out, but they didn't quit. I mean, maybe the 0 on 3rd and 11 isn't a bad call, but the problem was Ohio State lined up basically screaming that they were leaving 7 in protection, and they didn't get out of it. But I don't know. I still hate the call of blitzing. I'm still not blitzing against the best college receiver, Jeremiah Smith. I'm not leaving him one-on-one. I mean at least having a safety back there. But Will Howard played an efficient game. I mean, he might be. I don't know where he'd go in the draft. I mean, I think he should be drafted for, say, Jalen Milroe. I mean, he has thrown an elite 80% completion rate in 6 of the top 10 matchups versus top 25 defenses. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback. That's not what I'm saying. I think he's a decent quarterback who can be a good backup for it. He can be a good quarterback for a good backup quarterback for an NFL team. Yeah, that's really all I say here. Congratulations to Ohio State winning it all. So, college football season's over. First 12-team playoff. That was kind of disappointing. There were too many blowouts. I say it's about every playoff, whether it's 4 teams, 8 teams, 12 teams, or whatever the hell they decide to do next season. I might do a video on that soon. I don't know of what they can do to, kind of fix it. Maybe the seating. I don't know. But, yeah, that's really all to say. So, until next time, I'm out. Peace.